benzoyl peroxide, is there cause for concern or not? It's trendy to defend science, but what is science to the exclusion of all viewpoints? I'm Dr. Teo Wan Lin, author of white papers on Acne, which by the way is legitimately a form of acne. This is my research published in 2021 in the JAAD, and this on the Acne microbiome in the International Journal of Dermatology by Wiley Blackwell. Now, we're going to begin with what is clearly alarming beyond the fact that we should also look into the details of what the paper actually says. So this is the viewpoint of Professor Bunnick, a dermatologist at the Yale University School of Medicine and a physician scientist who is also a lead researcher in terms of benzene safety. And he in fact rightly points out why it is so concerning. It is not contamination, but rather that benzoyl peroxide generates the byproduct of benzene under the experimental conditions in the study. And by the way, based on what I'm reading, benzene was reliably generated even at body temperatures of 37 degrees Celsius in a matter of a few weeks without elevated temperature incubation. Contrary to the claims that we've heard so far that it was only observed at extremely high temperatures and prolonged incubation periods that make it unrealistic in terms of a real-world scenario. There is also no real safe level of a class 1 carcinogen like benzene, with researchers noting that in this case, dozens of ppm of benzene can form in as little as a few weeks at 37 degrees Celsius. Benzene, by the way, is well known to leak into the air from packaging. So to reiterate, we are not talking about detectable levels of benzene in the manufacturing process, which in a sense makes it easier to regulate. We are referring to byproducts, which by its very nature, in terms of how it forms, is a very unpredictable process. And what is so alarming is that a study like this predictably elicited benzene generation at body temperature. Now, clearly, if you are living in a temperate country, there may be less cause for concern in terms of ambient temperatures. But we must remember we are talking about a known class 1 carcinogen in the category of asbestos, formaldehyde, and lead. There are no safe levels of these class 1 carcinogens. Whatever it is, this is certainly new data, but to dismiss it as a single company's one-sided perspective and to insist the data is flawed, the study was conducted improperly, may be questionable in the light that dermatologists do in fact view this as a topic worthy of discussion at this year's Annual Academy of Dermatology AAD meeting held just 2 days ago. While I wasn't there, I am certainly looking forward to reading the proceedings. By the way, BPO sure is old, but that doesn't mean that it's safe or all that wonderful. If that were the case, there wouldn't be the need for the myriad of topicals and oral medications that are prescribed for acne today. Bearing in mind that it is also a non-prescription topical that is used even by pregnant individuals, a highly susceptible state. Surely all these must warrant renewed consideration in the light of new data rather than an outright dismissal. The insistence at the efficacy of a topical that may be considered outdated in the light of our modern understanding of acne seems to me rather bewildering, especially in the light of concerning data, which in this case cannot even be reliably determined by manufacturers, given that it is a byproduct. Apart from that, we could at the very least become more fastidious in terms of how we recommend storage of these products. And the fact that carcinogenicity is in no way determined by dermal absorption alone. As you can see, the fact that it leaks from packaging into the environment is concerning enough because we have lots of data that show inhalational risks of benzene. What we do know for sure is that BPO does not adequately address microbiome disruption, a key factor in acne pathogenesis, and was in fact clearly one that was detrimental in the pandemic era of mask wearing because of heightened effects of irritant contact dermatitis under occlusion. It is also a topical that is amenable to a plethora of alternatives, as I have pointed out in my paper. Again, I don't know what the final conclusion will be, and indeed find myself wondering if the version of data I'm reading is different from everyone else's. But I am certainly concerned until I know what avails at these consensus meetings. What do you think?